Welcome, everyone. I'm delighted that you're joining us today for the Veritas Finger Meditation Tool meditation. We've been doing this weekly, and it's a time where we can gather in community. It's wonderful to see many faces that are coming up every week, and also new faces today as well. I was thinking about where we seem to be in all of this happening right now. Listening to some news, yes, and not too much news. And I know that most of us still are in shelter in place. And if not that, we're being very careful. And we do represent being around the world right now, because there's many people listening in from many different countries. And so it's time to reflect on where we are in the journey. And one of the things that I've become aware of is kindness, how important kindness is to people. I was there shopping today or the other day with grocery shopping, and the people there, it was at TJ's, and the people packing the groceries and carrying them out to the car, and there was just a great deal of kindness, and it touched me. It touched me. And so I began to reflect on kindness, where it happens, where it doesn't happen, how I can contribute, the thought about each of us being kind to ourselves during this time. So there's a teaching here, and I'm just going to read this from a teaching story, a rabbi teaching. Here it is. An old rabbi once asked his pupils how they could tell when the night had ended and the day had begun. Could it be, asked one of the students, when you can see an animal in the distance and tell whether it's a sheep or a dog? No, answered the rabbi. Another asked, is it when you can look at a tree in the distance and tell whether it's a fig tree or a peach tree? No, answered the rabbi. Then when is it? The pupils demanded. It is when you can look on the face of any man or woman and see that it is your sister or your brother, because if you cannot see this, it is still night. This is a Hasidic tale, but I thought it was appropriate about how we're looking at the world and how we're looking at one another right now as well. So kindness, it's such an important quality to have. Kindness is something that we need to learn in one way, and also I think it's innate in many of us, that it's just someone's born kind. But here's other reflections on that as well. Naomi Shabai Nye, a poet, a US poet, has a poem called Kindness. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment, like salt in a weakened broth. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as well as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows and you see the size of the cloth. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to mail letters and purchase bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, it is I you have been looking for, and then goes with you everywhere, like a shadow or a friend. So as we move now toward our meditation time, I'm using the music from the Spirit of Reiki, and simply to take a moment to reflect on where you are on this journey and what kindness recently has touched you. Or when did you reach out in kindness to one another? So take a moment to reflect as we begin to draw our finger meditation tools near us. And as we take the time just simply to get to know and greet your labyrinth, and take a moment to move into the meditation. So really to allow yourself to use this 10 minutes in whatever way works for you. You're welcome to turn off your camera if you want to. I'll be using the music, the spirit of Reiki, and allowing yourself to kind of wander into your inner world. You might be bringing a question to it. What do you need at this time? You may just want the comfort of being able to trace these patterns that bring us solace and peace and exploration and openness to what's flowing through us at this time. So part of this meditation, as you have your tool there, and everyone, if you, oddly, mine's over here, just a moment, to hold them up, to hold up your finger meditation tools. And don't forget, there is that wonderful app, if you don't know about that, the Labyrinth Journeys. So place your finger meditation tool comfortably where you can reach it and where you're going to use it. And again, I'm borrowing from Lars here about just allow yourself to perhaps feet flat on the floor and allow yourself to begin to welcome yourself to the pattern. You might even introduce yourself. And to go around the outer edge, if you have a Chart labyrinth, we call it walking the lunations. You can do this with any labyrinth you have. And just simply allow yourself to breathe in for a third of it. And then exhale as you're moving around. I'm going in a clockwise way, gathering energy. And breathe in again. And exhale. And breathe in again. And exhale. And you can stay with doing this as I begin the music. And enjoy your time. And toward the end, you might want to jot some notes or just acknowledge what is stirred within you. So here we go. Take a moment. Don't rush. Perhaps an insight is floating through your mind. A feeling perhaps you need to note. So let me end with this poem called In Time's Good Mercy. And the poet is a poet in residence, Kit Kennedy. She's a poet in residence in several places, the Bay Times, as well as a Lutheran, Ebenezer Lutheran Church, which is nicknamed her church. It's a feminist church here in San Francisco. In Time's Good Mercy. And I will say this was written in 2017, so not just recently. In this bleak, edgy time, when will we stop asking, where is the joy in this core of grief? Know this, joy is seeping into the earth, resting in the lap of the Ancient One. And in her spirit wind we call mercy, we glimpse in each fragile crevice the ripe, that joy of living. That joy of living. So thank you all for being here and attending. I really feel a sense of community, and it's wonderful to see familiar faces and to see new faces as well. So take care, be safe, be wise, and thank you so much.